Hi there, my name is Mark Roper. I'm a Senior Compliance Officer and welcome to this series on the various FICA requirements placed on accountable institutions and also some consequences of non-compliance with FICA. Now, the majority of crime does take place to make some form of money or economic benefit, and it's not just the big ticket items you might watch on TV or read in the newspapers or online. And money launderers and financial criminals are constantly on the lookout for new and creative ways to take advantage of accountable institutions. Now, these criminals can achieve this in a number of ways, in a number of different fashions, whether this be by using an attorney's trust account to clean their questionably gained funds, sending money offshore through foreign exchange intermediaries or firms, or even going as far as to establish investments or businesses through trust companies and service providers. Another common method would be to use the ill-gotten gains to purchase high-value goods such as artwork or luxury vehicles. Think of your G-Wagons there, through a high-value goods dealer, and will then sell these on to give that impression or that appearance of legitimately earned income to purchase those high-value goods. This can even extend to the misuse of estate agents when purchasing property with laundered and illicitly gained funds. So to help address the challenges of money laundering, terrorist and proliferation financing here in South Africa, there are a number of pieces of legislation that actively seek to create and monitor the process for criminal activities to be identified, reported, and more importantly, prosecuted, ideally with the ill-gotten gains seized by the asset forfeiture units. So the Financial Intelligence Center Act, or FICA as we all know today, along with similar regulations around the world, all seek to leverage the idea that by depriving criminals from being able to use or benefit from their proceeds of crime, crime would hopefully in turn be reduced. Now, the acts and regulations put in place by various governments and institutions attempt to do this as close as possible to the beginning of the money laundering process, ideally before any transaction has taken place or any funds have been transferred. Now, this is in an attempt to stop funds from flowing further down the money laundering process and actually becoming a lot harder to detect where those illicitly gained funds actually derive from. So FICA lays out key compliance obligations that all accountable institutions need to adhere to. Now, these are based on international best practice and standards set out by the FATF, or the Financial Action Task Force. Now, they're essentially the international watchdog or global oversight committee combating these crimes of money laundering, terrorist and proliferation financing. Now, if we were to look at Schedule 1 of FICA, you'll see the whole range of businesses and institutions have been listed there that are vulnerable to money laundering, terrorist and proliferation financing risks, and are therefore required to perform the full suite of FICA obligations. Now, these businesses are termed as accountable institutions. They've been identified as businesses operating in industries that are essentially at a higher risk of being targeted for use by money launderers, simply because of the products and services that they do offer. Now, a list of these accountable institutions can be found on your screen at the moment. So the Financial Intelligence Center specifically states that non-compliance with FICA can lead to a public reprimand, which is obviously quite detrimental to your market reputation, a remediation directive, the restriction or suspension of certain business activities, which might affect your bottom line, then a financial penalty of up to 10 million rand for a natural person, or up to 50 million rand for a legal person or juristic entity. For more serious offences, the maximum penalty increases to imprisonment for a period of up to 15 years and a fine of up to 100 million rand. In this series, we will be discussing the key FICA compliance obligations that need to be met to be FICA compliant by these accountable institutions. Now, complying with these obligations means not only that you'll be FICA compliant, which is a very serious standard to be met by accountable institutions, but also means that you will safeguard your business and play your part in fighting financial crime, and if I can say so as well, trying to remove us off the grey list in 2025 when the FATF returns to our shores.